Luka Doncic just had one of the best basketball seasons we've ever seen. He made amazing passes and incredible plays, and his shooting was mind-blowing. It was pure Luka magic. From watching him play, it looked like Luka Doncic totally figured out how to play NBA basketball perfectly and was going to win his first NBA championship. The only problem was he didn't win it on the biggest night of his career. Luka Doncic didn't make it all the way. Luka, can you tell us how you feel? I know this is a tough loss, but you guys really had a great season. I know it's not easy to think about right now, but what's going through your head right now? Nothing, he said. We lost. That's it. I didn't do enough? This is how Luka's amazing success became his own biggest problem. That to really understand how Luka's success sadly worked against him, we first need to go back in time. Growing up, Doncic was like a basketball superhero. When he was just 8 years old in 3rd grade, he had to play against teenagers because he was so good. By the time he was 12 years old, when I was trying to dribble with my left hand, he scored 54 points and got a triple-double. And at 16 years old, he started playing professional basketball. Then, when he was only 19 years old, Luka made history and won the EuroLeague MVP award. Luka Doncic was born to be great at NBA basketball, and it was only a matter of time until he proved it in the NBA. He's going to be the best player in Europe in a couple of years. Trust me on that. In Europe or maybe in the NBA. Du Kain. NBA 2. In NBA 2. Funny enough, not everyone believed Luka Doncic would be amazing. Some basketball experts thought his style of playing wouldn't work in the NBA, or that he wouldn't be able to find his place on a team because he wasn't fast enough and couldn't shoot well enough. He's slower than rush hour traffic. Okay? Really slow feet. So his NBA comparison is Hido Turukoglu, a pretty nice all-star type player, but if he's right, a couple great players. Well, it took about 2 seconds in the NBA for Luka to prove those people wrong. In his first season, he averaged 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. He got the most triple-doubles by a teenager in NBA history and won Rookie of the Year. A season like this would be most NBA players' greatest year ever. But for Luka Doncic, it was just the beginning. The next 5 seasons, Luka really started to understand how the NBA worked, and his video game-like stats started piling up. Check out these stats that show how many points, rebounds, and assists Luka got per 100 possessions over the next 5 seasons. I chose this way of measuring because it lets us compare how good and efficient Luka is compared to other players, no matter how fast or slow their games were. Now, it's not perfect because it can't account for things like rule changes, but it's a decent way to compare and can show you how incredibly good Luka really is. For instance, try guessing which of these players is Luka Doncic, LeBron James, or Michael Jordan. Player A with 40 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists on nearly 50% shooting, or player B with 40 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists on 45% shooting. Player A is LeBron James from 2008, when he had one of the greatest years of his career ever. Player B is 22-year-old Luka Doncic from 2022, a season where he dominated, but it still isn't the best we've ever seen from him. Okay, how about this? Player A with 44 points, nearly 12 rebounds, 11 assists, and nearly 50% shooting. Or player B with 44 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 54% shooting. Well, Player A is Luka from 2023, and player B, the guy Luka beat in points, rebounds, and assists. That's Michael Jordan from 1988, the season he won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and All-Star MVP. Crazy, but still not Luka's best season yet. Try this last one. Player A with 42 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Or player B with 43 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and better shooting. Well, player B, as you probably guessed, is Luka's insane stats from this 2024 NBA season. So, who's player A? LeBron or MJ? Well, I lied. It's actually 3 players combined. The rebound stat is from 26-year-old Russell Westbrook, one of the best rebounding guards ever. The assist stat is from James Harden's 2018 MVP season, and the scoring is from Kevin Durant's 2014 MVP season. You're the real MVP in 2024. Luka Doncic went into totally new territory. Somehow, he learned how to become a great scorer, an amazing passer, a smart decision maker, and a great rebounder all rolled into one. But how did Luka do this? How can a 25-year-old be better at scoring than MVP Durant and better at passing than MVP James Harden, but still not win the championship? I didn't do enough. The answer to this question is really interesting because the thing that makes Luka so great also led to his downfall. To truly understand that, we first have to understand how Luka plays on the basketball court. By now, you've heard 100 times that Luka doesn't need to be fast to dominate the game. Instead, he uses his size, change of pace, and basketball smarts to force defenses into terrible situations, and he does it over and over and over again. Check this out. When left in one-on-one situations, Luka treats the player guarding him like a traffic cone. Instead, he focuses on the defense behind that player. If they're too spread out, it's common for Luka to attack the rim and use his crafty footwork like his slow step to finish in traffic, his Euro step, or his pivot to score with ease. If the defense rotates to stop the drive, Luka simply kicks the ball out for an open 3 or drops a perfect pass to the big man for a dunk. Now, if the defense packs the paint, Luka goes to his mid-range shot or his famous step-back 3, which at his size and shooting ability are always a good option for him. Just ask Rudy Gobert. Luka Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Also, Luka is an amazing outlet passer who can create a ton of easy fast break points, once again keeping the defense on edge and forced to play at his pace. That's really the secret to Luka's genius by controlling the rhythm of the game. He's able to find every weakness in a defense. He loves to find a small advantage for himself, reads how the defense reacts, then punishes them for that reaction. Obviously, the Mavericks have figured out that Luka Doncic is an amazing playmaker, so they just give him the ball like all the time. In the regular season, a Luka drive or pick and roll made up 1/3 of the Mavericks' entire offense, which is crazy. But that's still not as crazy as his overall usage rate percentage. Take a look at this. This is a list of the top 25 individual seasons with the highest usage percentage ever. A valuable way to understand a player's role in a team's offense and how much of the scoring load they carry while they're playing. With one appearance on the list, we have great scorers who had an extremely busy year. Players like Carmelo Anthony in 2013, DeMarcus Cousins in 2017, and Jermaine O'Neal with the Pacers in 2004. A little higher on the list, we find NBA superstars like Michael Jordan, Giannis Ante Antetokounmpo, Russell Westbrook, and Joel Embiid, all offensive powerhouses in their own right. Then we have two players that appear 3 times, James Harden and Allen Iverson, both players who carried their teams through MVP seasons. Luka has posted the highest usage rate percentage ever, not once, not twice, not 3 times. He's done it 5 times. This 25-year-old has been trusted with more offensive responsibility than anyone in league history. His incredible usage rate percentage has led to 5 All-Star selections, a 2019 triple-double leader, a 2024 NBA scoring title, hundreds of MVP votes, and because of his success, the Mavs have reached the NBA Finals for the first time since 2011. But Luka's greatness has also become his weakness. Sure, having Doncic run your offense is an amazing luxury. He'll cover up offensive mistakes, he'll make role players look like all-stars, and you'll win lots of regular season games. But at what cost? Luka's body fell apart. He's been injured since the start of the 2024 playoffs. Right knee sprain, left ankle, soreness, thoracic contusion. In Game 2 of the NBA Finals, we saw him bandaged up like he just got hit by a car. His injuries and heavy offensive responsibility was just too much and led to awful defense to dot in the regular season. Luka Doncic had a defensive rating of 113, and although he locked in during the playoffs with a rating of 109, the eye test tells you everything you need to know. Here, Jaylen Brown easily beats Luka off the dribble, forcing the Mavs defense to collapse. Brown passes out to Derek White, sending the Mavericks into rotation. At this point, Luka still hasn't recovered, so Kyrie pushes him, but it's too late to close out on Tatum, who penetrates again, forcing Kyrie to stay in the paint, which leads to a wide-open Holiday 3-dot in this play. The Celtics start with a Horford screen to get the switch onto Luka. Jason Tatum briefly resets the offense, then blows by Luka with a simple crossover, finishing with an easy layup over Kyrie. Same situation here. Holiday sets a ghost screen, which is enough to catch Luka off guard. Luka can't move fast enough to recover to cut off Jrue Holiday, who penetrates and finishes with an easy bucket. This last one is brutal. In order to avoid an 8-second backcourt violation, Luka throws a bad pass, which ends up being a Derek White steal? Deflated, Luka sits in the paint instead of closing out on Jrue Holiday, who drills a dagger 3. Clearly, Luka is mentally and physically worn out in the playoffs. He's made more careless turnovers and put himself and teammates into tough positions on both ends of the floor. Credit to teams like the Celtics, who built a deep roster and a strong system with great coaching. But if the Mavericks didn't rely